Well, guys, we're heading into the weekend with the hot topics. Is Ryan Johnson sharp enough to negotiate a good return for Elias Pettersson? Will the Anaheim Ducks rebuild turn the corner with the highest paid player in the league? And with the absence of Sportsnet 650, what's the legacy they'll leave behind? We'll talk about all that and more on today's show.
Dave Babich, Vancouver Canuck alumni. Welcome to Headspace Hockey. Like or subscribe. Make sure you listen.
Good evening, folks. 9:31 p.m., July 9th, 2026. It's another edition of Headspace Hockey. I want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you if you're watching on replay. We appreciate you, definitely. First and foremost, before we do anything, just want to give a shout out. Happy birthday, belated, to our guy, Gerald.
Thank you.
Just celebrated yesterday, so big shout out to you.
Thank you.
Do anything special to celebrate?
Well, typically birthdays, I like if I'm in town, I try to make it a priority to be in town with my parents. So I'll have dinner with my parents, and then on the day of, depending on scheduling and all of that, it's going to be with. This year, I had dinner with my mom, and because it's to all of you out there, if you don't know the facts, like I don't know about Yrvin, but as a parent, your birthday is there probably well, I don't want to say the worst day, but probably the hardest day in their life, because you're at the hospital. It's very stressful. Yeah. And mothers have to go through 9 months, 10 months, however months that you're in them. They're giving you birth, right? So our birthday, we celebrate our birthdays. Everyone thinks, oh, the birthday is mine. But the way I see it is it's my mom's day. It's like Mother's Day or even Father's Day or Parents' Day, right? So that's why every year I try to obviously have dinner or have a meal with them. And lately, the last few years I've been in town, I usually get my perks. I have on the day of, I'll go to Denny's with my dad and have the annual free Denny's breakfast. And then at night, I usually have dinner with my mom. And then probably a day before, after, I'll have dinner with both of them. So I think ever since 21, that's when I first realized that what I was just talking about how
your 21st birthday.
Yeah, my 21st birthday, I realized that it's at midnight. I was out partying, and I called my mom at midnight on the 8th, and I said, thank you for giving me life. I love you, and I don't know why it took me 21 years to realize this, but this day is yours, and I just wanted to tell you that I love you. And I don't know about in your culture, but Asian, Chinese people in general are very it's the act of kindness. It's not really the words of affirmation or any of that. Like, we don't talk about our feelings. It's more about, have you had, like when I lived abroad, it was like, do you have enough to eat? Are you wearing warm clothes in the winter? Are you dressing warm enough? And all of that. So it was never like, hey mom, I love you, or hey dad, thanks for this, thanks for that. Like there was never that. And we grow up in the Western society in Canada where, everyone says I love you to everyone, which is ironic because they probably don't mean it. But for us Chinese people, Asian people, we lack that. And I really wanted to change that. And the reason why I'm telling you about this is A, because it's my birthday that just passed, and B, I think words of affirmation, if you look at the, your love signs or whatever, like how you prefer, words of affirmation do a lot, because we talk a lot about mental health on this channel, right? So I just wanted to make sure that if you haven't called your parents in a while, give them a call. You know, remind them that you love them. And it's just, it doesn't take a lot of your time out of your day, but at least, you know, they know and they'll appreciate it, right? So yeah, that's my spiel about birthdays and what I think. So
Well, speaking of words of affirmation, I just want to throw it to everyone out there watching and helping us bump up our subscriber count. It's been, I mean, it's not a lot compared to other creators, but it's it's still humbling to see, especially seeing it grow every week. Yeah, it, we appreciate it for sure. So we're grateful for all the time you guys give and spend on our channel because we're just dudes. Speaking of which, um, we want to throw it to all of you. If you guys want to jump on and give us your takes, we are going to open up the lines. I'm going to throw the link in the chat right now. And yeah, just click on and we'll bring you on an opportune time and we can talk about all the things that we're going to put forward right now. So I'll just drop that in the chat. And 1 second, just make sure it's pinned. Okay. Cool. Now, as we get right to it, topic number 1, the ongoing Elias Pettersson saga. I just want to first off say that I've generally avoided this subject because, not because I hate the guy or I'm defending the guy. And no, that's not the police coming to get him for robbing us of time and money. No, you know, I just feel that it's a subject that tends to become very toxic, and I don't think it ever becomes productive. You know that I am really active in a lot of chats. Every time it comes up, there's always people, even people that we know personally, that pile on, um, fairly or unfairly. And so, obviously, as you know, Elias Pettersson, he's been on the team now uh, 8 years. He's going on age 28 this November. Makes $11.6 million. In case you didn't know, a contract that he signed in early 2024. And since then, there has been a distinct drop off in his point production. And in addition to that, in parallel with that, the team itself has gone pretty much in a nosedive. Um, and that's what makes him a very polarizing figure because at one time he was a very, very productive player, um, dominant in a lot of games. And the newest wrinkle in the saga is that it seems that the team wants to move on in terms of just their general in-room locker room culture, and he seems to be a big figurehead of that. There have been rumors, rumblings, speculations that they're in talks with the Pittsburgh Penguins to send him over. There are different holdups in terms of what the Canucks are wanting in return. It sounds like Penguins want to give up. Is it Adam Graves?
no,
No,
it's not
Ryan
Adam
Ryan
Graves.
Graves.
It's Ryan Graves.
Adam Graves is like the Hall of Famer. Ryan Graves, which is kind
Also
of like
a New York Ranger.
a dead weight contract, and the Canucks have to decide if they're willing to take that on. They also they would like to get a good player back in return and or good picks. Ben Kindle's name has come up. He's a young kid out of Port Moody, BC kid, just burst on the scene last year. And then on Pettersson's end, he's trying to decide if he's willing to leave the team. Partially because I think he has feelings about the Canucks and feelings about the city itself, and maybe he just wants to see it through. Swedish players are that type. They're not really the type to bolt teams that like that. Um, does that pretty much cover everything?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty much it. And the reason why we're talking about this is because it's been sort of like a hot topic of late, and a lot of traction going on, and there's definitely a divided fan base in terms of thinking, he needs a fresh start, we need a fresh start, like he needs a change of scenery, and we need, you know, as fans or as Canucks, they need that money off the board. And I think it's the discussion is healthy. Everyone has their own right to their opinion, and we thought, this would be one of the topics that we can open up the hotlines for later on. If you want to
Absolutely.
join, the link is there. Let us know what you think. But I wanted to dive in on what we think, and should a trade be done because there's rumblings, or should we wait? Uh, what do you think, Yrvin? Like, what is in your thought process, or for the betterment of the team, or for your fandom of the Canucks? Do you
Okay,
think
so
the trade is right now or later?
the logical part says that it's a soft center market, and this is even though the guys had quote unquote down years, he is a player that there is interest in around the league, and we've heard um, confirmation of this through Rick Dollywell, who I trust very much. He talks to a lot of GMs, talks to agents, and there are teams that ask about Elias Pettersson. Most of them want retention, and I think that that is fair in theory. But then you also look at the player that we're going to talk about in a minute, another player like Nico Hischier, who just signed for 11.7 and he's never had a 100-point season. Shut up, you dog. uh, you know, with Pettersson, it's a funny thing, because we have seen his greatness and we want it to come back, and that's the frustrating thing as a fan. It's almost the reverse of what the Sedins were, where they were picked very high and they didn't have the production early on or the way people wanted them to. And at the beginning of their career, people wanted to run them out of town. You know, a little bit of parallel there. And then the thing is, they became those 100-point players, and then it was a reverse. It was a case of, whoa, 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 we can't get rid of these guys. This is like they're the whole team. So in the case of Pettersson, I said this before. You know, he's we're a market where we love the hardworking, cheap players. And right now, how he is the opposite of that. He's not only somewhat of a detriment because I'm not saying that he's just a complete trash player. He does nothing because he led the team in points. But as far as being a threat on the ice offensively, I just don't see it from game to game. You see little sparks of it, but you want more. Um, so yeah, and just in terms of what's going through the guy's head, I feel for him. And I don't believe that he did this long play where he worked so hard, got himself to be a top player, and then once he got a contract, he's just sitting back and saying, "I'm getting money, I don't care." I don't think that's going through his head. I think this is killing him.
Yeah, I think it's true because in terms of like what I was saying earlier, like he needs a change of scenery, but I think for him, he's so accustomed to Vancouver, and also because of like the Swedish roots that are here with players like the Sedins, Naslund, um, and it's Edler, you know, and Vancouver is a very nice place. He might. I don't know if he enjoys. Like we've talked about this in the past, and one of the topics was social media. Is it like is it killing players or holding players back from signing in Canadian cities or Vancouver, etc. I don't know if he wants that attention because at some point it was 1 year he said that he's like, yeah, that's the pressure I wanted. Like I want to be out there and prove it and
Yeah.
all of that. And it's obviously backfired
That was
several times.
that was right after the Rift year too.
Yeah. So he says he enjoys it, the pressure and all of that, but let's be real. Who likes reading all these, speculations or, people throwing hate at him? I don't think he enjoys that at all.
Yeah.
Right. So it's funny because he earned the no trade, no move clause. And he's said that he wants to stay in Vancouver. So I don't know what his stance is and how his mental health is. Like his wife has started, what is it? The gummy candy company and all
Sweet.
that. And she's sweet. And she's also a content creator. Everyone just thinks LA is the destination, right? The great weather. It's warmer than Vancouver. It doesn't get as cold as Vancouver. Hollywood is there and all of that. Why wouldn't he want to do that? And if it's like Pittsburgh, maybe he just doesn't know Pittsburgh well enough, right? But in terms of like, you have to be there for half the season. Like whatever team that you choose to, you're going to be there for half the year. So Vancouver probably is ideal and he just wants to stay and he made his money here and he's comfortable here. But I think Pittsburgh would be great for him. It's on the East Coast. It's closer to fly to Sweden if he decides to go back, right?
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, but for Vancouver, it's like you have to go through Toronto or you have to go through Montreal or maybe New York, somewhere in the East Coast. You have to connect and then go, unless you're like on a private jet, which I don't think he's on a private jet. But yeah, so Pittsburgh makes a lot of sense, I would say.
Yeah.
But the return, depends what you get. Like Kindle, like if it was me and PD is this, we can juice this and get a better PD in the season with Manny and Sedins and Ryan RJ. If that can go up, I'd ask for Kindle and the Twins for PD if that's the case. because if he can get back to, I'm not even asking him to be like the 100-point player that he was for 1 year. Actually, no, it was 2 years. I think it was, it was 98 and 103. Yeah. Something like that. He only hit the century mark once.
And in the 2024 year, he was on the way.
But he didn't make it.
You remember for those first 2 months, he was in the Art Ross race.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, like if you can get back to like 80, 90 points with his salary right now, with the topic that we're going to be talking about next, with the offer sheets, making Leo Carlsson the top earning player in the NHL at 18 million. PD's yeah.
You go ahead. Sorry, I just want to say that with the Kindle factor, I don't necessarily think that I think there's been enough said that it is true that that's what the ask was. Yeah. And I don't think that even Ryan Johnson necessarily thinks he's going to get it. But what he's signaling is that this is what we're willing to take back. We're not just going to dump Pettersson. Like there's a lot of people who are saying, just get him off the team, trade him for a 7th round pick, which is silly. Very, very silly.
Oh yeah, 100%.
No matter what you think. That kind of trade offer, getting Kindle back, getting Kindle plus, that's showing that he's going to be patient, and that's all he's going to be willing to do because there is no rush.
Yeah, but that contract, right now, as of right now, after the Leo Carlsson, I think it's great because it just shows the NHL. I don't know. It's a double-edged sword, to be honest. Like, you have Kaprizov making 17. It was 16 something, but we'll say 17 for the sake of it. And we're like, holy crap, he's the top dog. McDavid took a pay cut. Draisaitl's at 14. You know, what next? And then this Leo Carlsson, a kid who has pretty much a point a game. I think he had 29 goals, and some, I don't know. I don't know how many assists, but I think it roughly rounded out to be a point a game.
Yeah.
So a point a game center that's going to be your franchise cornerstone is making 18 million. So for PD, this contract is going to look great next year. If all the other RFAs that are upcoming or all the UFAs that are upcoming are getting all this money, then to be honest, if you're trading right now, it's only going to get better for the team that's trading for him, no matter how well he does or how well he doesn't do.
Yeah.
Right. So at 11.6, and know this, in his contract, the amount of actual paid dollars goes down after year 5, I believe, because it's front loaded. It's heavy in the first few years. So for the Canucks, why wouldn't you wait? Why wouldn't you, since you're talking about a rebuild, you're obviously going to need some points. I know there's all of you out there that are like, oh, let's team tank for DuPont and all of that. But it has to be within reason, and you have to allow the kids to develop. So you're going to need someone to score some points, and hopefully it opens up for him. Elias Pettersson we're talking about. And if that happens, then his value goes up, his contract is palpable, and you're going to get a better return. Why? I don't understand why people are saying right now, oh, this is like the high point, high value, because there's lack of centers in the offseason and all of this and that. No, it's not. Like, if he goes to, like, say if we do a deal with Pittsburgh, he goes to Pittsburgh and he gets 70, 80 points. The fan base are going to be like, why did we only get this? Why didn't we get more? Why didn't we wait? So instead of going through all of that in a few months from now or next year, why don't we just wait it out? Like, you know, we're talking about things that we can't control. And we have RJ there. We have the Sedin twins, and they are the ones that are in charge of this whole rebuild. Have faith, trust the process, and just go with it. If they can get a haul for it, obviously they're going to do it. But if they don't, they're only going to get, like, say, I don't even think Kindle's on the table right now. Like, to be honest, like, you have Malkin and Crosby. They're on the end of the trail right now,
and they need somebody to bridge that gap.
Exactly.
They're not going to play forever.
Exactly. So PD would be that person, and they obviously want Kindle to succeed whoever they bring in to do that bridge. So it's very unlikely for them to trade Kindle. He was drafted last year in 2025, 11th overall. He played half the season already. You know, had great, you know, I remember watching him when he came to Vancouver. He scored 2 goals that game. It was crazy. Like, I remember I wasn't there. I was watching it on TV, and there's like interviews of him coming back to his childhood home. Like, his parents still live here, and he had all these Canucks things. Like, it would be a great homecoming for a kid like that. Like, obviously, when he came to play that first game, he loved it. To play at Rogers, you know, he went there to watch games. But to actually play for the team, I think would be a dream come true for him. Mm-hmm. So if he had to say to Pittsburgh, he'd be like, yeah, let's, you know, can we do something about that? I mean, it's obviously not like that. It's not like Leo Carlsson, RFA, I'm going to contract talk. Like, Kindle has 2 more years of his ELC. There's no way, unless, you know, something's done now, right?
Right.
But at some point, I think the likelihood of Kindle coming back to Vancouver as a homecoming is much higher than, let's say, Bedard or Macklin Celebrini, unless he just lights it up next year, which I don't foresee him because he's just getting fourth line minutes right now. But the likelihood of Kendall coming to Vancouver is definitely a lot higher than your Macklin Celebrinis or your Bedard who's out for 4 months. Yeah.
Let's just real quick. Let's go to the people before we move on to this subject. Which, by the way, I just want to throw out there as far as keeping Pettersson. When Manny Malhotra was an assistant, he had some pretty good years. So
Yep.
that's somebody who has a prior relationship. Hopefully, they can rekindle that. Real quick, fangirls,
And he should help improve his face-offs too.
Absolutely. So HSM fangirl, number one mod, number one subscriber of Headspace Hockey. She says Johnson seems like the kind of GM who won't trade for the sake of making a trade and make a bad deal. Exactly. We don't need to do anything knee-jerk because it's just is what it is. We're not doing this trade out of necessity where we're trying to save a season. It's just we'll do what's right when the time comes. She also mentioned that Sekeres and Price are the biggest PD haters. I'll admit I don't listen to Sekeres and Price as much. I'll watch some of their clips of the ones I'm interested in. But
they're not PD haters. They're just trying to state a fact that he hasn't been performing. That's all.
And there's definitely some bigger haters out there than Sekeres and Price. In regards to PD. This one,
which reminds me, like we need to get Matt Sekeres on here soon. Like the last time I spoke with him was like early this year, and then I messaged him in April, and we tried to set up a time to get him on. And like stuff happened, and like in life, not that stuff happened between me and him, or it's just things got busy. But hopefully we can get Matt on here soon.
So Perfetti's here saying that nice profile picture, by the way, Perfetti. For the betterment of the team, the Penguins are better than the Kings because you don't want to trade in your own division.
Very true.
Yes. I mean, I don't think it's something you should be afraid of, because sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But there is that thought, and with Canucks luck, he's someone who would go back and kill us every game. This one from Calvin99. Charlie, PD and DeBrusque for Kindle. So package deal.
That's bro, no, like he's making less than $1 million on his ELC right now. I can't even remember. It was like 900 and some odd thousand. Like, there's no way PD is able, like, it doesn't matter. But in terms of money wise, the Pens don't have the cap space for PD. They need to send someone back. That's why Ryan Graves, or it was I can't remember. There was some other player that they're dangling around, which I don't think
Samuel Girard.
No, it's not Girard. It would be I'll find it and I'll let you guys know in a sec.
Sorry, this is off topic, but speaking of the Penguins, I saw someone sent me a thing saying that it's a full circle moment getting the 2030 pick from the Rangers, because we traded JT Miller. We signed JT Miller, and his contract's going to end in 2030. And then we traded JT Miller for a first-round pick. We gave that first-round pick for Marcus Pettersson, and then we gave Marcus Pettersson to the Rangers back for a pick that is going to be in 2030. And that pick will, where it's placed is largely going to be dictated by how good JT Miller is in his age 36 year.
At $8 million, I think it still would be a steal for JT at that point, considering the salaries that are going to be increased by then.
But it's funny how things work out, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so moving along. Hey, Justin, see you in the chat there. All right, topic number 2. The big one, the big ticket. Leo Carlsson he was matched earlier today by the Anaheim Ducks. The deadline for the offer sheet matching by the Philadelphia Flyers was tomorrow. And as far as I know, I don't know too much about the Ducks, but I know that Leo Carlsson was quote unquote Pat Verbeek's guy. That he, if you remember, it was the consensus top three was Bedard, obviously, Fantilli, and Leo Carlsson. But Pat Verbeek really wanted his guy. And he has faith in him, obviously, because he said no matter what, it's kind of silly of him to do this, but he laid his cards out and he said, whatever offer, like when there was speculation that there could be an offer sheet, he said, I will match anything. And that is tendered to him. And that's exactly what Danny Briere did by throwing the richest deal in the league on this kid who's only 21. I believe his career high in points is 67. I don't know in terms of the metrics what he is like defensively, but that's obviously a lot. There is the potential there that this kid could be a superstar in the league for sure, but he hasn't shown it yet. And yeah, that's huge, right? Like we have the sticker shock because this is brand new, right? We're just now living in this world where guys are getting, 15-16 million dollars plus. And even with that, it's not as big as NFL contracts, NBA contracts. And that is part of this. That is part of the sticker shock.
Not even close.
But I think the important thing with this deal is that it has implications league wide, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said earlier when we were talking about PD, how it's like a double-edged sword. It's because, well, I think Pat Verbeek kind of screwed himself originally when he went after Cutter Gauthier. That's why Briere came back at him this offseason. Like, he marked the date. I'm pretty sure he marked the date. He's like, this is the date I get revenge. And he did it. But thinking about revenge, like, obviously when he was interviewed, he didn't, like, someone brought it up and he's just like, no, he's a very good player, blah, 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 this and that. But $18 million. Come on, man. Like,
he's not that good.
Yeah, he's not $18 million good right now. I mean, who knows? He could be. But did he not realize that aside from screwing the Ducks, he potentially screwed himself too? Because all the players that he needs to sign are going to be like, hey, you offered him 18 million, man. And then the price going forward now for a centerman or even like any forward is going to move up drastically just because of this one person, Danny Briere. Like, I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of hockey content lately, but because I've been focusing on the World Cup. But I haven't heard anyone talk about this. I haven't heard anyone talk about like how Danny Briere screwed the whole NHL. Like, you had this harmonious thing about like players getting signed at this amount.
Oh,
at
there's
17's the max.
About it for sure.
Has there been? But yeah,
because this move, if you're Danny Briere, isn't to make friends. That's for damn sure.
Dude, he doesn't have any friends after this.
Same goes for, not to a lesser degree. The same goes for Sonny Mehta in New Jersey, doing what he did. But the parallel with both the Barrett Hayton deal, which is what I'm talking about with Sonny Mehta, and this deal with Leo Carlsson, is that so if you didn't know, when somebody throws an offer sheet, you either match it or you don't. And as far as the team that has to match it, they don't have the option of renegotiating and rejigging the contract and front loading it, or doing all these kind of like putting all these clauses or riders in the contract. They have to match exactly what was offered by the team throwing the offer sheet. So that means that Sonny Meta throwing his offer sheet for 1 year on Barrett Hayton takes him to free agency. So you're
He
risking
did it deliberately. Like it just,
absolutely. And the same thing,
it's such a asshole
Briere
move,
did
to
the
be
exact
honest.
same thing with Leo Carlsson. And so I was talking to someone on text about it was Big Bear and Rain. We were talking on text about how Verbeek is basically, I didn't use the word screwed, but I said he's screwed like every which way to Sunday now because
Yeah.
he's either keeping him on this gigantic ticket that he probably may or may not deserve. And even if you do believe he deserves it, fans are going to turn and say it's always going to be about that. You've seen it play out with the player we were talking about in the previous topic, Elias Pettersson. You've seen it play out with Darnell Nurse. Um, just especially when they're underperformed, they become identified by their cap hit. Now, so the flip side of that, in terms of losing him, you could lose him either way. You could lose him to the offer sheet right away, or you could lose him at the end of this contract when he's a free agent and a class 6 UFA where he can pick anywhere he wants to go.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that the offer sheet is a mutual agreement. It's not just a predatory thing where the team's going after a player and saying, I want that guy, I'm going to throw an offer sheet. There has to be some degree of mutual interest, meaning Leo Carlsson in this situation said, yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot. I'll see, and I'll see if my team matches. So there is a little bit of what they call a fly in the ointment. There's going to be bad feelings about this either way. If you're Leo Carlsson walking back to your GM, he's probably giving you the stinky eyeball at this point.
No, I don't think so. I think Patty loves Leo Carlsson. Like you were saying, like this was his guy.
Patty loves Leo Carlsson. Well,
He
yeah,
was just trying to save the family money. He was trying to save the Penguins money. Like this guy is a stickler for contract negotiations.
the Ducks, you mean? Trying to say the Ducks?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're the player, I think, especially with this new age, these Gen Z kids, they're looking at it as my career is only going to be so long. I could get hurt tomorrow and nobody will care. And in all likelihood, statistically, the probability is I'll never win the Stanley Cup. So I might as well just get the bag and get the biggest deal I can. It's life-changing money. Right? And they've already worked so
Like
hard. They're not going to switch sports and go to soccer or football or baseball, basketball and make that money. They can't. They're already hockey. They're locked in. Yeah, that was kind of a rumbling I had in my head today that maybe there's a lot of the new generation that winning the Stanley Cup is probably like the fourth or fifth most important thing in their career.
yeah, but I mean in terms of like the kids, like what this off season has kind of shown or taught me is that players, even with RFA status, can change the narrative very quickly. And with, it was either if it's Barrett Hayton, Leo Carlsson, and well, Jason Robertson didn't really work out because he had to go to arbitration. But just these two alone shows that, yeah, like teams got to be careful. I think Leo Carlson's agent is probably pretty smart. What Mason McTavish went through last season is probably that tipping point and thinking, yeah, Pat Verbeek's such a stickler for contracts and whatnot, which is great. Like you want to hire a GM that saves the team money. But at the same time, you don't want to be known to not offer fair contracts and have the new kids come up and be like, yeah, seeing this happen with this player, by the time it's my contract negotiation, I'm going to go. Like Leo Carlsson has set a precedent now for whoever is coming up, like Pavel Mintyukov, Cutter Gauthier. I mean, Cutter Gauthier can't be offer sheeted, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But all these other players, it doesn't even have to be just the Ducks, but any players that are in that position now have that hack, have this life hack where it's like, you know what, your team doesn't want to give you the money, go to a different team, get what you want, and then we'll see if they'll get it. I mean, from an agent's point of view, whatever team that player is from, it's a win-win. Like, we'll put it on the Canucks, since we talk about the Canucks more consistently. If Zeev Buim is offered, like, he doesn't get extended this offseason, he can be offer sheeted next season. Let me ask you a question. If Zeev Buim was offer sheeted next season because RJ didn't give him a contract right now, what would you think?
Me personally,
Yeah, you personally, like what? Like if this same scenario happened.
Let's put this: if I was in charge, I would say we are only in year 2 of the rebuild. Just let him go and get the picks. Because let's say it's something crazy. Let's say they offer sheet, like, because Bowen Byram just went for the richest defenseman contract in the league currently, right? $12 million. So let's say they throw that on Zeev Buim. No way I'm gonna match that. Just give me the picks.
Exactly, right? Like, come on. Look at it. Like, it's a win-win situation.
Here's what we didn't talk about with that situation. If the Ducks had done that, they would have had 4 first rounders that they could have shopped and went and got a new first line center. Right? Look at the package that the Ottawa got for Brady Tkachuk, who's arguably not even a top line winger. Right?
No, like, okay, for the Ducks, it's a different situation, but if they did it correctly and wanted actual revenge, and Leo wasn't really their guy, they'd be like, great, we'll take the 4 picks, and here, Flyers welcome Leo Carlsson and his massive contract. Like, you screwed yourself, Danny Briere, you screwed yourself, and you made the contract that you have to eat it up, right? And for the Ducks, because they're in that sort of mid rebuild right now, it depends. I mean, if I were the Ducks, I would have probably not re-signed him, because you don't know how well he's going to turn out. What if you have like a Louis Eriksson on your hands at $18 million, man? This is 5 years we're talking about. And Louis Eriksson was there for like 6 years. It was 6x6 a long time ago, which is equivalent to something like $10 million in today's dollars, I would say. So think about it. If next season, the Canucks, they do okay, they get DuPont, Zeev Buim gets offer sheeted, you're midway through your not midway, but like year 2 of your rebuild. Actually, no, this scenario won't work for the Canucks. The Ducks, on the other hand, I'll tell you the pros of not signing or matching the contract. If the Ducks didn't match it, they would have had 4 first-round picks. Those 4 first-round picks, you know what it could turn out to? They could get McDavid. Think about it. McDavid's contract, his new contract just kicked in this summer. So next summer, he can re-up as a contract extension, which he probably won't unless they win the cup. So if he doesn't, then Oilers are kind of like, McDavid's probably going to go to who is it now? Like, it's not Holland, it's Bowman or whoever. I don't care. I don't really care about the Oilers, but they'll go to him and be like, hey, I'm done. I'm out of here. Find a trade. I have control. Let's go to Cali. Ducks can aggressively poach McDavid and be like, hey, here's four of the picks plus our own. That's 5 picks for McDavid. You either take it or you don't. Because McDavid's going to be like, I don't want to play. Then think about McDavid on the Ducks. With that young core, bro, how is that not going to the finals, man?
Yeah, with Dustal and Jackson Lacombe, they would look pretty good. Gotta admit. Okay.
Wait. One more thing. You haven't answered my question. Think about it. If you said that if Zeev Buium was offered a contract, an offer sheet next summer, you take the 4 picks, right?
100%. Find yourself in
right?
Zeev Buium. I'm on record. I'm pretty skeptical of the guy. I think he can be good. I just don't know that he can be that good that he's like untouchable. That's why it comes back to the conversation of, do you extend him long now while you can and do it on a team-friendly cap hit? Because obviously there's that fear that all these contracts ballooning, it could get out of control. And then again, you don't want a situation where the guy's just simply identified by his cap hit.
Like for me, I would either go all or nothing. At this point right now, I think the asking price would be about 8 to 9 million for Zeev Buium. And if you can lock that in before September 15th of this year, you sign him to an 8x8 or 8x9 and then call it a day. If he doesn't want to do an 8-year, then you'd be like, you know what? Wait till next summer because I'm not giving you anything more than that. Like, unless he locks in for 8 years, there's no way if I were the Canucks, I would sign him.
Is it true that Carlsson mentions that he was willing to take an 8x9?
I don't know. I have to look.
Okay. I heard something about that, but I gotta do some digging.
No, this is something that Pat Verbeek did. He stabbed himself. He stubbed himself in it. He basically did this to himself. If Leo Carlsson was willing to do an 8x9, 8x8, and now it's doubled, it's his own wrongdoing. Imagine if you had Leo Carlsson signed to an 8x8.
This is from Clay. It was at 8 by 9.5 million.
Yeah, 8 by 9.5. Think about this. 8 by 9.5. You have a cap savings of 8.5 million. Actually, no, it's different because that would be 8 years and this one's 5 years.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. Not only is it less of a cap hit, you are buying 3 UFA years. Right.
Exactly.
So it's instead of going right to UFA, you're going past that.
Yeah. So he basically stabbed himself. Like it was a dumb move. But anyways, we're gonna move past this topic. But one last thing I wanted to say is if Zeev Buium actually gets offer sheet next season, imagine look at the Quinn Hughes trade. It would have been Liam Ogren. You had the first round pick, and which turned out to be Novotny. Who else was it? Because we had four. It would be Marco Rossi and Liam Ogren, Rossi, the first round pick, and there was one more piece. I can't remember.
William.
Oh, and Buium. Sorry. And then you get 4 more first round picks. That's 8 pieces for Quinn Hughes, man.
Keep in mind that it all depends on how rich of a contract it is. Now, I don't have it on hand.
Bro, by next summer. As of right now,
everyone in the chat,
you
can pull it up on Puckpedia, but there's a threshold. So depending on the size of the contract offer sheet you throw, you are required to have the picks. And I remember
it's $10 million for 4 first round picks.
Okay.
Anything over 10 million. Yeah. And I know this because I just looked it up. So Zeev Buium is going to be more than 10 million by next season if he lights it up. Because right now, if he's going to do an 8x8, 8x9 by next season, it's going to hit 10. There's no team going to be offering him 9 when the Canucks be like, yeah, I'll match it. Right? So think about it. It'd be 8 assets for Quinn Hughes.
Let's go to the people real quick. Just a reminder, everyone, the link is in the chat. Don't be shy. If you want to jump on, say your piece. The Headspace Hotline is open. We would love to hear from you. You don't even have to use your camera. You can just be audio only. So a few comments here. We got Clay in the chat.
And also just a quick reminder, you know, guys, like we are so grateful of everyone that has been, especially tonight, like the numbers look great for than our usual nights. We had a lot of views last week. Our best video. Yrvin texted me like 2 days later. He's like, "Yo, this is gonna be our top video like ever since we started." I'm like, slow down. It's okay. Don't get overexcited. But we thank you and appreciate everyone that's been coming by, you know, rewatching it, people that are here watching it live. But one reminder is, if you haven't, please give us a subscribe, because that will definitely help, and it's gonna make Yrvin happier. And he's been tracking this week by week, telling me how many new subscribers we have each week.
I'm watching
And
the count backstage right now.
yeah, so if you're able to,
we're continuing to bump up. So
yeah, so coming here to watch, we appreciate it, but it only makes Yrvin happier if you subscribe, and you also get the notifications when we come on, which a lot of you now have come on. Like this is probably like double of what we usually get. And yeah, like just make sure you give us a subscribe, a like. It's gonna help us out. It's gonna help Yrvin, you know, his mental health and him being happier. But yeah, let's continue with Clay's comment.
Most important. Okay, so Clay, he's saying some analysts are calling Briere a winner in all of this, and it shows he's ready to swing for the fences. Makes Flyers look aggressive and innovative, ready to win now. I agree with that, because what have we said for the longest time about our Canucks GMs, that they're not willing to, you know, they don't have the cojones to make those big deals. And I mentioned this I was in a Spaces chat with Kirby, Cats and Rats, and they were talking about all the deals that the Panthers made that built their cup-winning team. And in the immediacy, fans hated them. They hated the deal for Reinhart. They hated the deal for Sam Bennett. People hated the deal for Matthew Tkachuk.
Why? That was stupid. Like,
right? Because
that was one of the best deals.
Canucks fans
man.
go through that too, the nervousness of like, did we do the right thing? And especially for us, we've never won the cup. There is that anxiety. Rick Fetty here says Leo's agent is Jerry Maguire. You know who that is?
Show me the money.
Yeah. You got to be old enough to know that reference. This one from Elfrin. Bottom line is Verbeek waited too long to resign Leo Carlsson. Absolutely.
He screwed himself.
As we mentioned in the chat. This one from Rick Fetty again. Karma says Ducks will miss the playoffs and it will be funny. Well, if you are fatalistic like that, I remember when the Golden Knights first got Jack Eichel, and then they immediately missed the playoffs. I think there were a lot of people celebrating, but jokes on them, because they ended up winning the cup the next year. And this one from Just Incredible. This is a long one. You want to read that one?
So Briere got sour grapes from Cutter Snub, and I think just because Ducks traded for him and he did better than Draisaitl, Briere took it personally. Or sorry, Drysdale. Briere took it personally, and I don't think Verbeek was to blame for revenge. Yeah, there wasn't. No, but Verbeek is to blame for penny pinching. Like, if what Clay was saying earlier, 8 by 9.5, you just take it, man. Like, you don't take that risk of someone offer sheeting it. Now GMs are going to play it safe, and depends. I mean, if it's a rebuilding team like the Canucks, then yeah, go for it. Sign them for $10 million. Give me your 4 picks. I don't care. But if it's other teams that are in the thick of things, then they probably won't do it. Think about Ryan Kessler back in the day, and it was also the Flyers that offered him the offer sheet back in the day. And the Canucks could have gotten Kessler for cheaper, but and at that time, I think it was $5.2 million for AAV.
I believe so, because that's what he ended up his cap hit being. And there was a lot of hand wringing at the time, because he had career like 10 goals.
Yeah,
at the time.
Oh, but thank God he blossomed.
Yeah. Okay, so we have our first guest in the backstage.
Okay, wait. But before we go to our guests, we should really go through the the 650 thing first, because instead of the
Oh,
hotline, let's go briefly through the Sportsnet
sure.
650 closure very quickly. And
So our guest
uh,
backstage, if you can hear me, are you able to sit tight and wait?
I think he just has it there sitting.
He's not saying
He'll
it.
come back.
Okay. We will come
Yeah.
back to you. Hope you're listening. Okay. So moving along, final topic of the night is the unfortunate shuttering of Sportsnet 650. Now, for the benefit of you, those of you who are not in the know, Sportsnet 650 was the second all sports talk radio in Vancouver. Prior to that, it was just the Team 1040, which became TSN 1040. Obviously, TSN bought the rights, and so here we were with two sports radios serving Vancouver. All it was all Vancouver content all the time, and obviously Bell and Rogers being the owners meant that the the higher ups, the people in charge, the, the people who are supposed to have a vested interest, they were all back east, and so that's a big problem because I just don't think they understood the market ever. Um, we, I think I've told you this before. We here in the West Coast get little brothered a lot by people in Ontario, and yeah, I think back east there's this thought that people just care about the Leafs and the Blue Jays and the Raptors, and to a degree, the Raptors and the Blue Jays are a big deal because they're the only Canadian team in their respective leagues. But what my point is that you know 650 was after Team 1040, TSN 1040 was shut down 5 years ago. Um,
Wow. Can't believe it's been 5 years.
yeah, it's like I said, it's a broadcast station that serves the market very well because they know the market. For better or for worse, Vancouver is very unique in how we walk, how we talk, and how we view our sports. I think I've mentioned this before. There's a lot of angst when it comes to being a Vancouver sports fan. Not only with the Canucks, just look at losing the Grizzlies or losing the MLS final recently against Inter Miami. The riots that have happened. But sorry, I feel like I'm getting off topic. Going speaking on Speak 650, it's for me personally, they were a constant companion in a way. I If you didn't know, I work full time as a cook from Monday to Friday, and I get up at 5 a.m. in the morning, make my coffee, and then 6 a.m. it's Halford and Bruff, um, alongside Greg Ballack and Andy Cole, and then for me, there's a little bit of a break from the 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. hour, which is Canucks Talk with Thomas Drance and Jamie Dodd, and those are my mainstays. I watch those guys a lot, um, and I understand that there's something to be said about audio quality and the fact that these guys are AM, but for me, I always listen to it on my phone, so that was never a problem with me. It was For me, it was always about connecting. Um,
Have you ever called?
a couple times. I know you have, right?
Oh, yeah. A lot.
But it's that connection. It's more than just because like there's a difference between what we do, and what they do, and in a way,
Dude, we're amateurs. They're pros. They've been doing this for years. It's been like
right?
9
But
years
we're
for someone
just
like
we're
Sat.
we're we're breaking it down and we're giving our takes. And yes, we do have way less years. Um, but if you think about it, like how many of the guys in media have never played professional sports or, you know, there's only like a small handful of them that are former professionals themselves. Hey, Kempner, good to see you in the chat. Um, I think with radio, it was important because it was like it was that monolithic kind of shared experience for everybody in the city, especially in the immediacy of the news and in the immediacy of games. Like I know you were a big guy who would listen to the post games, right?
Yeah. For me, it was mainly the post games because you don't have a lot of media outlets that have that. It's called the people show for a reason, right? People call in, people ask questions, people give their take. And you hear people from all over. It's like people from the island or people um I don't know, just northern BC, like everyone. It's like a community, a hub of
Yeah.
for people to share their experience or their takes, right? For us right here, we appreciate you being on here, but we might not always have time,
Yeah.
right? So for the
This
people show, something that gives you that outlet to voice, your anger or your joy towards the Canucks, and it's built a big following and community, right?
I was gonna say this, what we do. Like I'm not comparing us to them because there's the years and years of experience. But what we do is more like us letting people into our room, like almost like literally, right? Whereas the radio is more like town square in a way.
Yeah, and it's great because there's so much to talk about in the post games, like even pre games, post games. That's where uh, I learned about SAT, um, and and yeah, I'm just gonna share something quickly. If you guys haven't seen it on X or Instagram today, this is what Satyar Shah, the host of the People Show, and the intermission, and the post game. Well, the post game is the People Show. What made 650 special was the people, right? From those who joined day one, or for those who came aboard along the way, everyone was part of the team, um, and he truly means it's the team. They all played sports together. It's what funded for their field, their passion for this, and brought everyone together as teammates. My heart is broken for everyone involved at 650, 11:30. But one thing I'm sure is that the talent and resiliency they all possess to land on their feet, which is very positive. I love this. To all our dedicated listeners, I'm sorry you invested your time and passion in us. It's something I cherish and wish was protected. Very shame. It's a huge shame. These past 9 years at 650 have been the best part of my career. I dreamed of having my own show, and I'm forever grateful to Sportsnet for making that dream reality. I'm honestly excited for what's next. Every challenge is an opportunity to be conquered. So after seeing this, I actually reached out to Sat this morning, and I said, I'm a huge fan of the People Show. I call in sometimes, but the gist of it was, I said, I'm really sorry what happened, and I know that wherever you go, we will follow you, because we've been listening to him for 9 years, and hopefully at some point, wherever he lands, we'll be there. Um, and just to like a sneak peek kind of thing, like I actually went and asked him. I was like, hey, we do this channel. Would you be interested? And he said, he's just everything's just so fresh to him right now, and he's just still processing it. So at some point down the road, said that he'll join us. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, when Yrvin saw it on our account, he was just like, "Oh my god! Like, you talked to Sat?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you got to take your shots, man." And it was mainly more of a check-in, like for the mental health aspect of things, and just wanted to make sure he felt supported, and we're part of this Canucks community also. So
I just want to reiterate how well I feel we are served in this market with the personalities that we have. And you may or may not agree with everyone, or you may not like the things that all of them had to say. But that's the beauty of it, is that there's something for everybody. You know, you got kind of the old heads with Don Taylor and Rick Dalrymple, who are the boomers. You got, and then you got Gen Z people um, like Harmondale, who we just had on the show, and Quads. And then you got even the millennials, the Thomas Grances of the world. And I would put Trevor Beggs into that category. Um,
Kyle Bowen.
yeah, and
Don't forget Kyle.
all valid takes, and they are all and Jeff Patterson's another one who's a great one. They're all in the spirit of the late great Jason Bosford, who's no longer with us, but he really set that bar of like I said, understanding the market and interacting with people on a regular basis, being reachable through social media, doing small channels like ours. Um,
And giving
you know,
back.
yeah, totally. Which blew me away. Like when we were planning to have Harmondale on, I was looking up like what else did he do? Like because I didn't want to overlap questions, and I wanted to know like how we should approach it. And so I did a search on YouTube, and the amount of like little smaller channels than us, things that would get like 30, 20 views, not to denigrate those people and those videos, but he my point is he didn't act like he was above it. He just wanted to talk hockey. He's passionate about it, and he loves the community.
And
Right?
he's a true one, because like he was mentored by Botch.
Yeah,
Like
and
that's why giving back is so important for him.
it's not to say that we're anything huge or big or whatever, and I'd love to be. But I'm just saying that, yeah, it's great that we have access to these people, especially like I think in other markets you would get big leagued by media people
Oh,
like that.
in the US, yeah.
Could you
I
imagine
mean,
Larry Brooks, God rest his soul, going on a podcast, or Stephen A. Smith or Shannon Sharp? Never,
not a
not for
chance.
free. I'll tell you that.
Well, no, but these guys are also national, right? So it's a little different. Like the
Mm,
Vancouver market's a little different in a sense that they had their everyone started somewhere. I think Rick Dhaliwal said, when he first started, he had help from others, and it's something that I um, believe in truly, that paying it forward is very important. And Dhaliwal is the same thing. Like he believes that if someone helps you out, then you help someone out in the future. It's like my belief. I don't know if you've ever watched the movie Pay It Forward. I think it's Kevin Spacey and
oof. And
and that
Haley
kid
Joel
from
Osment.
Sixth Sense.
Yep.
Yeah,
And Helen Hunt.
not a kid. He's like a big, huge man. He's bigger than me now. But yeah, it's about just paying it forward. And I've done stuff like that, similar in a way in my real life. When I was out on Granville doing projects, and I'd see people in need, and they'd be like, "Oh, how can I pay you back?" And I'm like, "Don't. When you have the ability to help someone else, you go help someone else. But just promise me that you'll help 3 people, and you'll continue that chain, like that pyramid cycle. Not
Yeah.
asking for anything, but simply just paying the gesture back and paying it forward. And if I help 3 people, I obviously help more than 3 people, but every person that I help, and if they insist on asking to repay me, I'll say, you go help 3 other people. And those 3 other people help 3 other people. That's how we make the world a better place. Because nowadays it's all about me. It's all about, how I feel about this, how I feel about that. Like it's gone to a point where people are worried about what they say, right? And if you're able to make a difference, like you don't even know how big of a difference you'll make in someone's life if you just said hi to them or smiled at them, right? Irvin's always like, just smile, right? And that is a special, that's massive to someone who's going through something, right?
Yeah.
So if you're ever able to help someone, try to help them and pay it forward and get them to pay it forward to others. You don't need them to pay you back. Just pay it forward so the world is a better place.
Yeah, absolutely. So
we have more people in the back.
Okay, so before we get to the people, just want to throw it out there again, as Gerald said. Help us bump up our sub count. You've already bumped it up a little bit just during the stream. And if you do, you'll put a smile on his face.
Her face or on my face?
This face.
Okay.
And by the way, Taylor, that wasn't what I said wasn't necessarily a reference to Boho or Bat. Just the words.
You know you were.
Okay. So we currently only have the one person backstage. So just to remind you.
Oh no, he came back.
Oh, my start comment is gone. Just to remind you, the link is in the chat. It's pinned if you want to come on. We still have some time. And you can come on. You can come audio only if you want. You can come and say your take. This first person is a fellow content creator himself. Is a big Chicago Blackhawks fan, and I would love to get his take on the whole inflation that's happening in the NHL right now with the contracts. Okay, here he is, Nick from Windy City Hockey.
What's going on, guys? Nick? The background looks sick.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So as
is it done yet? Sorry. Is your whole reno
all complete now? Oh.
That's okay. Right. Just turn on your cameras off, but we can still hear you.
Can you?
Yeah.
We can hear you, but we'd love to see that new.
Yeah, I'll rejoin real quick. I think it's just a glitch.
Okay.
Okay. No worries.
So while Nick fixes that, we had one OG that's been a friend, a supporter of the community for the longest time. He's been waiting there since pretty much when we had the link up. He left, and I had to ask if he's still around. I think he's there. Are you ready, my friend? Because I can only see your. Okay, great.
Okay.
So without further ado, let's introduce our good friend Connor.
Hey guys, you there? Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. See the top of your head, but
well, there's a reason for that, Yrvin. I'll have you know. I've been waiting for quite some time. I've been curious to know how you guys would react when I would share with you the big surprise. Well, be ready. Here it comes. Very slowly.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Hey, is there 92? Is there 92? There we go.
Let's see the name.
There we go.
Let's see the name on the back.
Okay.
With the umlaut and everything. Okay.
That's the surprise. I love it. I absolutely love it, Connor.
The first thing I did when I got it today. The first thing I did was I texted Russell, and I basically said, because I laid it out on one of the shelves, and I said, the GOAT, better than Linden number 16, maybe, just to rate him. Basically, he said, "Oh, finally found some toilet paper. Did you?"
Wow. Cheeky. Okay.
So, it really, I felt like it really hit a nerve with him hearing his idol being upstaged. Well, obviously I was joking, but hearing of somebody thinking that my idol could upstage his was, I think he took it pretty hard.
Okay, my friend. So where do you want to take it? We got the subject of PD Carlson and Sportsnet 650.
Yeah, so I was listening in on everything. I don't think I have to confess, it didn't affect me in the way that it would have for you, because of course, obviously, growing up back home, never had anything like Sportsnet 650, never had any kind of hockey radio. So I don't think it hit me as bad, but hearing how much it affected those that grew up with it for, the last 20, 25 years, I think it was that it had been going. I could definitely understand that. And certainly I'm sure that, if I was in that situation like yourselves and I was listening to a local radio station for years and years and years and listening to, those who have very elite takes on hockey as general, especially the Canucks, and to find out that it's not going to be made possible anymore is, is such a shame, but it's also no surprise to me because it's all down to greed, isn't it? This is the work of Rogers, and how they're trying to find ways to focus on markets that generates more revenue than others, and basically just shows how little they cared. I think I saw that tweet. I think that was sent out by, was it Rick Dollywall? I could be wrong, where he said shows that they never cared about the people of the city, and I was like, true words have never been spoken.
Yeah,
honestly.
No, but it's very true in a sense that I think as times improve and technology advances, people consume their content a little differently, right? So this opens the door for people. I don't want to say people like us who are like just a weekly show, but it just gives people a more diverse choice. But in terms of Sportsnet 650, it was your go-to place to, call, even though you're waiting on the line for, I don't know, however long you were waiting to jump on here, Connor, but probably even longer. And just to give your take for 10 seconds and they'll reply to it. Like, it was like I'd be driving home from the game and I'd have it on the radio and I'd have to turn off the radio just in case the feedback and all of that. But you give your take and you're just like, that's cool. And then other people that come on after that kind of relay your message or say, hey, I think that was good, or I think that your take was pretty bad. But that was the fun of it, right? And you don't have that option anymore. And it just sucks because Rogers thinks that radio is not making enough money, right? So it is what it is, and it's time to move on, kind of thing.
Okay, I mean, come on, guys. I'm sure that they might think that they might let on that they're not making money. However, I don't believe that for a second. I definitely think they're definitely making a few bob out of this, and I just think, quite frankly, this is an own goal. That this is, frankly, and to use the soccer term here, I think it's an own goal that they've frankly scored on themselves. Much like how you guys were talking about the way that the way the Leo Carlsson debacle ended with one person basically scoring a goal on themselves, that being the GM Pat Verbeek. That's just, again, an example of sacrificing what we perceive as the greater good for something very short term, something like a very short term gain from their point of view. But how much is it going to affect the long term aspect? Because for sure, having the opinions of people speaking about the sport for years and years and years is absolutely something that cannot be understated or undermined, for sure. Because especially as, current generations and future generations are going to continue talking about the Canucks and talking about the NHL and hockey in general. As you say, taking that away, God almighty, guys, that's pretty low. I'm disappointed to hear that. And obviously, can I just point out that your channel, as well as Russell's and others that allow people to basically say what they like to say, good on you for that, for keeping that dream alive.
It's pretty heady company, so I appreciate that.
For sure.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like why Yrvin and I started this channel was because we were like you. We jump on other people's shows and we give our take, but it's usually 2-3 minutes, and that was a taste, and that wasn't enough for us. I know it wasn't enough for Yrvin because he's just, I don't know how he types, but it's just like nonstop in the chat, and I'm like, bro, why don't we just do a channel and you can say whatever you want for an hour. And he's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like camera shy and all of that. So here's to those people. I mean, I was talking to Hugh. I bumped into Hugh a few times and I think he's starting a channel soon. So for those of you who have that aspiration to do it, just do it. I mean, we started and we look back at our very first shows and it's like, wow, I can't believe this is online forever until we delete it. But there's growing pains, and once you get up to it, like Yrvin, if you see, Yrvin's improved massively in the last 4 months from the very first show until now. So if you're interested in doing it, sorry.
I was about to kind of jump in and jokingly say, yeah, he has improved, but there has always been one thing he has remained consistent on. You know what I'm talking about, don't you, Yrvin?
Yes. I love needling people. Once I know they have a weak spot. It's all
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, I did say to Russell when I met him at that practice camp, and I made that very clear. If I'd love for one of these days people to work out what your messages say, because so far I know, but it seems nobody else does.
No.
I'd love for them to crack it out, but to kind of work that out by themselves. It would just be a shame if either you or I spoiled it for them. So we'll let them work it out.
Well, Connor, we appreciate you coming on. We're gonna carve time for some of the other guests. So yeah.
Cool. All right. I'll try myself up. But great to speak to you guys. And
here.
Let's sign Oberon to 18 by 5. Why don't we?
Oh my god. Okay, wait. Connor, you have any final thoughts? We'll give you one last 30 seconds of a thought that you want to tell everyone. Anything.
Honestly, yeah, I just want to say, like I said, you guys absolutely rock, and so does Russell and everybody else. And it's one of the reasons why why I'll always join and listen to you, especially since I know you guys are very forthcoming. Look, I totally get it. You're not going to be able to do it every time because obviously you've got important topics to discuss, and you don't always have to have a huge amount of time to do it. But the odd time that you do allow us guys the opportunity to say what we want to say, 100%, I'm down for it, and you guys are awesome. And believe me when I say this, I really cannot wait any longer for this new season to start. I really can't.
That's good. It's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on, Connor. And we didn't plan this. Like when I said 30 seconds, he didn't even anyways, but we appreciate the kind words. We appreciate your support and your friendship. We'll talk to you soon, Connor.
Sounds good, guys. As I'm leaving, I just want you to know, Nick was on before me, and I saw that he was wearing that Hawks jersey. This jersey beats him.
All right.
All right.
We'll ask Nick how he feels about that. Thanks, Connor. We'll see you soon.
Okay. Here to react to that, as well as talk to us about ballooning contracts. Nick from Windy City Hockey.
I don't think the Canucks jersey tops the Hawks jersey any day.
Yeah, that was a really.
I'm going to stay neutral.
Yeah,
I'm going to stay neutral.
Well, thanks
What's
for
going on,
having
my
me
friend?
guys.
What do you got for us, buddy?
Oh, it already feels like the 2026-27 Blackhawks season's over after the week of hell the Hawks have gone through.
No. Really?
4 months, right?
It sounds like you'll be back in November. So
okay, I see.
That's a quarter of the season already gone. So
it's fine. He'll bounce back.
I mean, if you saw how he came back after his last shoulder injury,
he had that injury out here. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I heard it was at 8 rinks, which they have. I guess they have a constant live feed. It's a service called Live Barn.
Yep, Live Barn's almost in every rink around the world at this point.
Not that it was going to be some big secret, but I wonder if players are going to start asking, "Hey, turn that stuff off."
I don't know. Here's the thing: is I think the Live Barn started out mainly as like a security system for the rinks, and it just became a thing where they used it for basically for training purposes. And
like game tape practices.
Yeah, basically, because I know some guys who use Live Barn for beer league, which I'm like, it's beer league. You really don't need to look at what you're doing from beer league.
Yo, no. Hey, I play basketball every week. and I bring my camera and I have it recording every week, and the guys message me right away and be like, "Hey, do you have the footage?" It's just like they want to know how they play. They want to know how they can tweak their shot. They want to know, are they, being beaten because of this or that, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
but to have it live is kind
or
of,
if they made a sweet play, they want proof.
Yeah,
yeah, that's mainly the case.
Because I've had like a handful of goals in beer league, and it's one thing to go to work in the morning and tell people about it, and make it sound better than it is, but people are just like, yeah, it's cool. It's a totally different thing to be like, hey, here's the video.
Yeah.
There's a saying in Chinese that a lot of people use is, if there's no picture, there's no evidence. Direct translation, or no video, no evidence. So I don't know, Yrvin. I don't know about those goals that you scored.
There was a Canucks.com version of that. In the old Canucks.com forums, people used to say pics or it never happened. Just same thing. Same. Okay, so Nick, we'll shelve the Bedard subject for now because I know that's
okay.
a bit of a sore subject. Maybe not as sore as his shoulder, but
maybe
it's his arm. It's his forearm, isn't it?
Back.
Now I wanted to get your take, because we're seeing contracts in the NHL just get higher and higher. Now you've got Bowen Byram, and his cap hit is now
12.5.
It will be 12.5 starting in the 27
next season.
And he's a player in the past who's had the potential to be a number one, but he's never had it. Does that worry you? Are you good with that?
I don't think it worries me because the fact that he's played under players like Cale Makar and Rasmus Dahlin, two of the best defensemen in the league, arguably the top three defensemen in the league are Makar, Dahlin, and Hughes. And that gives me more confidence than, per se, a few, like now almost 6 years ago when they traded for Jones, who clearly did not want to be in Chicago. Bo Byram clearly wanted to be in Chicago. Otherwise, he didn't. He wouldn't have taken that 6-year deal. When was rumor San Jose, when they were trading for him, they wanted to offer him a 4-year for more money, where the Hawks are giving him the more money, but in a longer term deal. And Byram had history. There's photographic evidence of him wearing Blackhawk jerseys as a kid.
Interesting.
Okay, wait. I have, since you brought that up, I have to ask you this. Like, wait. This is Benson we're talking about, but I want to talk about Bowen Byram, Vancouver kid, 2010, 2011, followed the Canucks religiously, had pictures with the Sedins and all of that. He was quoted saying his favorite players were Alex Burrows and the Sedins. Then, before he signed the contract, he's like, "I've been a Blackhawks fan since a kid." How does that? What do you think of that?
I mean, there is also photographic evidence of him as a kid, like in high school and or middle school, wearing a Jonathan Toews jersey around too. So there could be. There's also a fact that his dad actually played one game with the Chicago Blackhawks in the 90s. So maybe there's a little bit of the fact that his dad's technically an alumni to the Hawks, even though he played one total game in a uniform and I believe 3 other games with like the New York Islanders or something like that. But there's something about it where I get it. Some people will be like, yes, he grew up in Vancouver. He should have been a Vancouver Canuck fan. I do know some people who are in Vancouver that are actually Blackhawk fans, who grew up as Hawks fans that live there.
Please don't disclose their names, or else they're gonna get like something at their door.
Yeah, I'm not
Not from
saying
me, not from me, not from me, but
But yeah, I'm like, it could be the fact that when he was growing up, the Hawks were the premier team of the league. And Vancouver, yes, they were up there, but were they truly the premier team other than that season in 2011? It's where he probably had more allegiance to players that are closer to him where he grew up versus he liked watching what the Hawks brought in the 2010s.
Possibly.
Okay, wait, Yrvin, you want to rebuttal? You want to rebuttal this, or do you want me to rebuttal it? Because I can see on your face you want to say something to me.
I mean, it's possible. Especially for little kids, and the Cup visited British Columbia on account of Duncan Keith and guys like Troy Brower, Colin Fraser.
True.
So it's possible. I don't know too much about Bowen Byram, other than that they played for the Vancouver Giants. So who knows?
I'm sorry, Nick. 2010 to 2011, 2012 President's Trophy. I mean, they got swept in the first round, but still, like, this was a legitimate powerhouse team. And when he was growing up, there was the West. Actually, no, he wouldn't have been. He'd be like a kid when West Coast Express was around. But mainly the Sedin, Kessler, Burroughs era was smack down where he was in Vancouver. And when he's playing for the Giants, it was the tail end of that sort of era. But the Canucks were good. You have to give that to us.
They were.
We were rivals for a we were stumped by the Hawks in the first round for multiple years until Burroughs slayed the dragon. And to be honest, we hated the Hawks in a way because, like, it was, you know what? I don't want to say this, but you guys played kind of dirty at points. And it was just, we weren't huge fans because we're from Vancouver.
Kessler and Rafi Torres.
Well, that's why we got them. I mean, we got Rafi Torres because we needed to get over the hump, man.
I mean, he tried killing Brent Seabrook in 2011. Then he tried killing Marian Hossa when he was a Coyote in 2012. So,
all perspective.
Rafi Torres has a special place in Chicago history. And the guy, basically, if he ever came in Chicago, I don't think he would want. I don't think he would be well welcomed.
Perhaps.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's how I would put it.
All right, buddy. Well, before we get to our next guest, is there anything you want to say to the people?
Well,
what's coming up on Windy City Hockey?
I'm so waiting for Connor Bedard's contract, and hopefully, maybe news that Patrick Kane could be returning to Chicago.
Ooh,
are you for that?
Yes, I actually am. I've been like, at this point, Kane could produce enough to help alleviate the fact that Bedard's out for probably going to be at least 15 games to start the season. At the end of the season for Detroit, he had 24 points in 20 games for Detroit, which led Detroit in points in that time span. If he put up 15 points in a 20-game span for the Hawks, and the fact that he's a legend to the game in Chicago, he's going to be well welcomed versus if he went somewhere else, like even if he went to Buffalo. He will be more well welcomed in Chicago than Buffalo,
for sure.
I think.
Well, at least it's not Corey Perry, so
I won't ever. I hated when he was a Hawk, and I'm never even considering him one. I don't even think he will ever be considered an alumni. That ship has sailed with Corey Perry.
Well, he played more games than Bowen Byram's dad, so.
Yes, but he
I'm sorry.
also got.
I'm sorry. I had to stick that in.
Yes, but he also got kicked out of the organization.
Yeah. Well, it helped us free cap space to get Zadorov. So really well.
Hey, before we let you go, are you able to show us what your your decorated place looks like? Are you able to
Yeah.
swing the camera around?
Oh yeah, there you guys go. I guess. Basically, full background is different fonts of Chicago. Like this is the Chicago Tribune font, Chicago Cubs, like text up there, just cursive Chicago, kind of almost like the old Bulls logo, and then Sears Tower right here, Hancock Building right here, and other kind of historical parts of Chicago in the background, kind of mixed into it.
So no more jerseys or nothing of like sticks and stuff. No.
No, this is going to be the permanent background for now because I wanted to kind of clean it more up, make it a little bit more. Maybe if there's like a PWHL team come to Chicago, then I can cover both the Blackhawks and a PWHL team, and it has more of a neutral Chicago background versus just having a Chicago Blackhawk background.
Sweet. Looks great. Love it. Looking forward to more of your content. If you guys have not subscribed or checked out Nick's content, you can head over to Windy City Hockey, hockey with Blackhawks Hawk EY. Friend of the show, go support him. He has great content. But great speaking with you again. Hopefully we'll talk again soon. Thanks for coming on.
Take care, guys.
Cool. I mean, just there's a little bit of time if you want, if anyone still wants to come on. We do have one.
No, there's not, because the next guest is taking up our last spot.
Okay.
Not doing anymore.
All right.
This guy, yeah. I need to give him time. He rushed home just to come on for us. He's trying to go for the record of being on Headspace Hockey.
Oh, that's right. He's now tied Clay and Big Brain Rain for most appearances on Headspace Hockey. So let's bring him on. The biggest advocate for sports betting on Instagram. It's Whit Chow, Nux 101.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Crazy reference. That was a good one. My gosh.
Sorry, that was just a bit of a joke. Did you want to explain?
That's a great reference. I don't know what the heck is going on, but in the last week or two, there's been a whole bunch of Nux 101 accounts on Instagram, a whole bunch of fraud accounts. And one of the latest ones was, betting. And so hence your nicely timed joke there. So
the first one that happened, they added me, and I said, okay, yeah, it's Whit. I thought I added him already. And then they started texting me, asking me like, hey, you use a sports betting app? I'm like, no. And then I got a hot tip. You got to get on this right away. I'm like, oh, okay, this does not sound like Whitten at all.
It was definitely Whit.
Unless
he's just
I don't know, like,
trying to hide it.
Yeah.
He's pretending.
Anyways.
I bet you anything Whit opened those up, and he's just been trying to spam and try to. Okay, never mind.
No,
I'm playing you all, guys. I'm playing you all.
He's a nice family guy. Anyways, so obviously some big topics this week, even though it's we're well into off season. What piques your interest?
I did a lot of reposting, but I didn't really make anything. But I really wanted to talk about the radio station shutting down. I definitely have some thoughts about that. One thing for sure is that in life, everyone can look up something from the outside, but there's something to be said for when you grow up with something. And we're in a generation where we grew up listening to the radio. Our parents had it on when we're driving from place to place, just listening to it, and then having the option to tune into a pre-game and post-game show, or just the drive to work in the morning. That's something that is very rare, and those are now just memories.
Tell me if you guys remember this. When you're a kid and you ask your mom or dad to drive the long way because you want to listen to the radio.
Yes. Must drive the long
I
way.
didn't.
Take the long way home.
didn't.
Go freaking get gas. It's okay. Like I don't mind. Just I want to listen to this game. I don't want to go inside. I'm like not until like sometimes we'd be sitting in the car until like, let's just say it's third period and there's like 3 minutes left and then it's like a tie game. We're like, okay, just get it to overtime and then we'll go in the house. We'll have enough time. Like we'd wait for those breaks, like these are little things that we won't get back. And these are things that we have to think of. And I know people would say stuff like, there's a different way to consume the content. There's podcasts, YouTube, there's a whole bunch of other things. And yes, there is a truth to that for sure. But nothing can replace this experience, right? Nothing can really replace the habits and everything that we've built and everything that we've, thought of, right? So it's one heck of a experience. And I just wanted to say like that's something that I definitely will never forget. Those are such great times. And yeah, just having the dead air, like just having it on. I still had it on automatic.
Yeah.
And that's like the first station that I had, even after the shutdown. And to hear the static, and then I look at my car and I see it says HD3 signal lost. And I'm like, man, like this was only a few days ago, but I haven't really listened to Canucks radio for a few days. I'm like that sometimes replaces my music. Right? Like I'd rather listen to that than music sometimes. So that like I think that's a bit of a loss. But it is what it is.
What between Team 1040 and Sportsnet 650? What was appointment viewing for you, or appointment listening?
I just love the perspectives that they had. I don't know. I just think people that speak on the radio, they have a certain mindset and perspective that other people don't have. Everybody brings a different perspective no matter what the platform is, but I think radio is just very special. Like it's kind of like you talk to an older professor and they do things in a certain way, but the way that they speak and the way they're knowledgeable and the way they present themselves, very different compared to the younger generation. And that as time goes on, that type of style, that type of knowledge, it goes away eventually. And I feel that's kind of the same with radio. It's like that, the newspapers before they had the online newspaper articles, like that's like a bit of a dying breed, but that was also a habit in itself. You know what I mean?
Sorry, G,
Gee, I can't hear you.
might be you're not muted on the back end, but it might be your microphone. But yeah, like in terms of the personalities that are on Sportsnet, we definitely did see. Oh,
Still doesn't work.
check your audio sources and your output sources. I'm just gonna mute you for a second. You definitely saw with the closure of Team 1040 where a lot of those guys migrated, and obviously with Halpern and Bruff and Drance going to Sportsnet 650, but you saw Sakaris and Price and Jeff Patterson move to the digital space. And I know that takes a lot. Like they're not just gonna just go on YouTube, like pro bono. You know, they've got to make a bottom line and to make it work. Gee, we got you. Nope. Muted, doc. So we hopefully will see the same. There's definitely an appetite for guys like that. I loved Half and Rough. I thought they're hilarious. But yeah, I'm gonna miss it for sure. Like the having them on from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. was the rhythm of my day. When their jingles would come on, I always knew what day it was. I knew what time it was. I knew if I was behind on my prep day at work. Oh, geez, left us. He's gonna come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you sure hope those guys are gonna land on their feet. I think they will. Um,
Mm.
yeah, like I said, it's gonna take a lot of sponsorship because that for me, you know, Stick Harrison Price doing what they do, and they're strictly in the digital space. That's the only way to make it work. It's
Yeah.
funny when the closure of 650 happened. I was googling things like, how does one start an AM radio channel? You can do it in the short band, like within like a small space. Um, but to actually start a radio station, you have to buy like these big ass antennas, and then you need permission to use it and to broadcast it. So it's not just as simple as flicking a switch and talking on the radio, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
good?
Can
G
you hear?
back. Hey, I hear
Okay.
you.
Okay, good. Sorry, something happened. Anyways, yeah. Sorry, where were we, or where were you guys?
We're just talking about what we think the evolution of the sports medium is going to be. Now, that being said, the radio, as bad as the audio quality was, it was free, right? As long as you had a car or you had a radio, or just download the Sportsnet app, as shitty as that was on your phone, you could just listen to it. Now, my worry is that things are going to be behind a paywall. Even now, like you have, like I said, Sakaris and Bryce are in the digital space, but you have to contend with ads if you're watching them on YouTube, and you got to pay if you don't want the ads. So we'll see how the media evolves. Oof.
Well, no, I mean, I think someone was bringing up. It was I started, but it's gone because I had to leave. But someone was talking about how PlayStation is
They gave
taking
up Blu-ray.
away the Blu-ray disc, right?
Yeah.
And everything's just going to be online. And yeah, it's just it sucks because if you think about it, all three of us are millennials. We went through CDs for music. We went through DVDs, Blu-ray for movies and stuff like that. You own that. You go to the shop and you buy a physical copy of something. Nowadays, everything is online. Music, it would be Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. Like where all you get your podcasts, you can find us. But you don't own it. As long as you have a data connection, internet, you're able to listen to it. So what do you guys think about that? Because if everything is digital, like what Yrvin was just talking about, there's going to be a compete for ads if it's free. Or you pay some sort of monthly fee, a subscription, but you don't actually own the actual music or the movie or whatever it is. Like, what do you guys feel about that? It's just about monetizing, but the more you pay, the less ownership of something that you have.
I think if purchasing is not ownership, then piracy is not theft.
Interesting take.
Okay. That's pretty solid.
Shouldn't say
That's
that.
why Netflix is losing money now. Yeah.
Saw it after a while, right? But I think, like you guys said, like there's always a trade-off or something. But I feel like nowadays things may be more accessible, but I feel like there's still nothing like owning a physical copy of something.
Yeah.
It doesn't beat it. Like I could have a PlayStation 5, which I do, but I only have the digital version. So I can get all my games. It's accessed easily, but it's not the same as having a special edition of a hard copy of something than to just have it around like that. It's different for me. It's not the same. I'm so used to having something. It's like my VCR. It's old, but I have like those like Walt Disney videos. I have like or those those movies from the past, like Aladdin and Land Before Time. Like that stuff. I actually own something. That's actually special. But like now, and I think it's losing a little bit of it. I do like the convenience. and I do like rewinding something and watch it on demand, I guess. But if I were to pick, just for the sake of it, I'd probably go back to waiting out a commercial and then just watching the thing on. Like, honestly, like I would go back to that. I would trade that to get that to get it back if it meant getting a radio station back. Just being honest, but that's just me.
No, but it just feels like it will. You know what? The radio aspect of things will come back at some point. I think they're gonna somehow work out a deal with, say, Spotify, or with, I don't know, whatever streaming audio platform that they have, and it'll be live. Like, say, for stuff that needs to be live, like post games or whatever it is. Because right now, a lot of the podcasts you can't listen to live unless you're going
Yeah.
on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
So I think for the future, it's going to be radio. Like, these music streaming services are going to have some sort of radio that you'll need to pay or have ads or whatever it is, and that will replace it. Because A, the music or the sound quality will definitely be a lot higher, and B, as long as you have a phone, as long as you have, like, instead of going to your car, like, who has a radio nowadays? Like, Yrvin and I, I had to deal with Yrvin asking me this question: do you have a radio? We went to a game together, our very first game, and he goes, "Hey, do you have a radio?" And I'm like, "No. Who uses a radio nowadays?" And he's like, "Well, the game's on in the arena. If you tune into this channel, you can listen to the commentary at the game. It's an FM." And then I had to go and buy a radio that I could walk around with, just so when I go to the Canucks game, I can listen to commentary. Because when you go to a live game, you can't actually, like, it's just players playing. But watching on TV, I love watching on TV because you have people like Shorty or and like John Garrett at the time when I was watching. You hear them talk, have these conversations. It's kind of like radio in a sense that they're describing the game for you, but you're also watching it. So that's what I'm gonna miss the most, for the radio aspect of things, is the after, like the post games, the pre games, like even the pre games before some of the games, they had Sportsnet 650 on TV at some point, and they'd give their, like, this was with playnow.com, and they'd have some guy from playnow.com and give you these picks for betting and whatnot, and talk about the Canucks or talk about the game. Like, I miss having that. But now they're not even going to have it anymore. So where is it going to be? It's at, I heard from Clay, Jack 96.9 is probably where they're going to have the Canucks games.
Jack FM is a Rogers property, and yeah, I think they're gonna play them on there. It'll probably still be Batch and Randy, whoever's on the color, Randy Chanda. Is it Tom?
No, it's Landon. It's Landon.
Landon Pereira.
Yeah.
So the
See,
games
come
will
on,
be there.
guys. You guys don't even listen to the games on radio. So hush, man.
I only listen to I used to listen to it a lot when I had to work at night during the Canucks games, and I would have them.
Okay, that's fair.
I have the on at work, but I only really listen to the radio now if I'm at the arena, which is what you were talking about. So hopefully, I don't know.
This
Hopefully it
guy
doesn't
right
go away.
here, this guy right here keeps asking me every time I see him. He's like, "Do you listen to Canucks Talk? Do you listen to Canucks Talk?" That is his all-time favorite show. Like, that's his go-to, like, Canucks Talk, and how he gets his ideas, how he gets, like, everything. And now it's gone. Like, what are you gonna do, Yrvin?
I still follow Drance on Twitter, so
Okay.
yeah. Hopefully the the live aspect of it doesn't go away, and we have things like what we have now. Like I said, I always thank people for watching us on replay, but I think there is something to be said about catching
Live.
our show live and being in the chat and getting that instant feedback. Like, I'm looking at the chat now, I can see them. I could see Tillo, I could see Taylor, Brickfetti, you were in there, Connor was in there, Clay was in there, and we're all just kind of like almost like around the campfire, where just mainly Gerald and I are talking, and everyone's kind of having their own little conversations in between. So Yeah, like I said, um, doing it live is just such a different beast than doing podcast. I think at
But
each.
if
Go
you were
ahead.
able to do it digitally, like online, if you were able to, because I was talking to Clay one time, I was driving, and instead of listening to radio, his show was on. But I would have to have YouTube open in order to like listen to it in my car.
Mm,
So I'm pretty sure a lot of this, like the music streaming services, will have some sort of like they'll change this,
hopefully.
because instead of having like my phone open and having the YouTube run my data for video, I could just listen to the audio side of things, right?
Yeah.
So if they're able to conquer that aspect of things, I think that will replace radio really soon.
That I know of. Harrison Price we're doing something like that, and it was a strictly digital live broadcast audio. I can't remember the service. It was like Anchor or Seeker, something.
Oh, Seeker. It's Seeker. Yes, it's Seeker.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had okay, a little bit of a tangent, but on Sportsnet 650, they had a commercial that would run for Seeker, and they were introducing you to Seeker. So they would say, "Meet Seeker," but it sounded like they were saying "Meat Seeker," like someone who is trying to get some some sausage. I was like, is that true?
Silver Will. I don't. Do you know
That's- that-
Silver Will 95?
Yeah, that's Tillo in Nothing Is Perfect's chat. But is that true?
So $500K to get a radio station. So
No
it
wonder
costs
they cut-
less. It costs less than to buy a house or buy an apartment, man.
Wow.
Oh. Crazy. Well,
Yeah. Hey, Witten, since we have you here,
Hmm.
do you have like we love the infographics. Actually, Wit actually has been. We have a group chat with Wit, and he sends them out before he actually posts them. We really appreciate it that you sort of have trust in us. What is coming up soon for you in terms of hockey news? If people don't know, Wit is one of the writers for the hockey news, and he has his articles come out. I mean, in the off season, I believe it's 1 or 2 every month, and then ongoing during the season, it's probably 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, 4 times, or you can say once.
4 times, once a week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the new infographic. You want to give us a little breakdown?
I broke it down. Like I go and do my research. I hear what people have to say, and then I just look at the all the stats, and I do even more research, and then I just put everything down. Centers, defensemen, what I have here, wingers, and goalies, and I just list them all out, and then I just try to make the criteria fit. Like, if I just say under age 24, then I got to put Willander and Buyam on there, but they play too many games. So I had to try to find a way to make the criteria fit. I will say I did make a slight mistake. I Cole Clayton in there. I had him at 24, like age 24 for some reason, but he's age 26. But I don't think it changes the point too much for the defenseman in any case there. The pool isn't that deep there. We got to replenish there. But yeah, like, that's the graphic there. I try to put everything all in one spot. Like I could have made this 4 separate posts, but I think people like to, save things and have everything can be in one place that they want to look at something. So that's just kind of my mindset behind the graphics I make. Details, put everything on one. People can look at it in one place and they don't need to worry about looking in multiple places. So that's kind of how I do my graphics. Yeah.
I love it. This guy actually does it. You've been doing posts at least once a week so far, even in the off season, right?
You're talking about these graphics, right?
Yeah, these infographics.
Yeah, I try to do at least 2 a week, but Lately, I think I've done like 4 or 5 in the last 7 days or something like that. I mean, it is summer, so I think I have a little bit more time. But mind you guys, like I have 5 jobs. I want to tell you, I have 5 jobs, and I'm not kidding. So a lot of these graphics, sometimes I'm grinding in them out at like 4 a.m. So sometimes there's the odd mistake, but you know what? It's all worth it. Like this is one of my 5 jobs, is to do content creating, and I'm still gonna find a way to launch my YouTube channel. It's coming. A lot of things are falling into place for me here, so I'm gonna keep up. You know, as long as the people want, I'm gonna keep pumping out the graphics.
Yeah, aside from the YouTube channel, I think we'll be probably working on another project together soon too, right? But that's
Yeah,
for beginning of the season.
yeah, like good.
Well, we'll let you guys know about it. But Witten and I have been in the talks for it. Yrvin will probably join us sporadically,
Mhm.
but yeah, stay tuned for that. Any thoughts on PD? Do you think he should, excuse me, he should be traded now or traded later?
For me, I don't think it matters so much when he is traded. I think it's just more of uh like the value, and if the Canucks really value the culture and the locker room that much. Because if they value it so much and so bad, then they are going to get rid of him before the season starts, right? But I don't know if it's in them to be like, you know what, like we can't get a deal done, so we're gonna try to inflate his value and then flip him. Like I don't know if they're like that, because from what we've heard, like this regime compared to the old one, this one seems pretty aggressive to try to get him out, but they're also pretty classy about, you know, the talks they've had. Like Ryan Johnson's very, very like a breath of fresh air, like how he conducts his interviews and stuff like that.
And you know, with Canucks fans, how it goes. As soon as we quote unquote prop him up, fans are gonna say, "Don't trade him. He's playing so
Yeah,
good now."
yeah, yeah. So they give you. We all know how this works, right? Like like even for me, you know, Pettersson tricked me. Like he had that 4-game multi-point streak, and then I said, okay, if he gets one more, then maybe he's back or whatever, right? And I even made a, you know, I made a little bit of a think about that one too myself. But you know, eventually, you like everyone's going to go through, you know, a hot streak at some point, right? But the so that was his hot streak, and then he was dry for a while, right? But I don't mind keeping him for one more year, but that's the most I would ever keep him. Like you can't have him, you know, you can't say like 3 years in a row and then all of a sudden, like, you know, okay, it's like fluke, right? Like it is no fluke anymore.
Do you believe? Because every season I've been believing, every off season I've been believing, and even last off season, like the extra 13 pounds or 18 pounds or whatever it was, I was psyched. I was hoping for a rebound. Like, do you believe it this summer? Not until you see it, I guess.
I It's tough. It's tough because I mean the Sedins also called him out on his training, right? And on the fitness, right? Like it's really tough when those guys call you out, and those guys are like the nicest, classiest people. And if they call it out, then they must have some crazy frustration, like threshold, right? They've seen it all, right? And then for them to, you know, become like these co-presidents, and then they say these things, no one's bashing them for it, right? And neither should anyone bash them for saying it. It's more of like, if the Sedin say it, then it has to be true, right? Like these guys can do no wrong, like it's right, like that's, but they've earned that right though. I feel
Yeah.
it anyways. They have.
Do you find it kind of ironic that the Sedins were actually called sisters when they first came out in the beginning? Like probably their second or third season, all the fans, a lot of people called them soft, called them just they shouldn't be on the team.
Mhm.
PD's getting sort of the same sort of, like, it's the same treatment right now, but the difference is PD's trajectory started it was like boom, like a rocket, and now it's like it plateaued and then it's just dropping. Whereas the Sedins were a progressive sort of climb, and they had that, sister name calling, all of that near the beginning, proved themselves and
Yeah.
stayed there. Like it to me, it feels like the Vancouver fans are kind of savage in a sense. Like I've been very lenient on PD, and I've been fighting for him the last couple of years, even with that big contract. But I know people, even people in our group, I'm not going to name who they are, that just bash him to the ground. And I just think, come on, just one more season, last season under Manny, and what Yrvin was saying earlier, PD had a good season when Manny was an associate or an assistant coach at that time. So why not one more year, ride it out? If he doesn't do well, trade him. Trade deadline. That's what it's for. Like if he's performing and teams are like, oh, we need that second C, then trade for him, and there's your highest value. It's not highest value now. A lot of people saying it's a high value right now, but I don't see that. Do you?
No, I don't. I gotta tell you guys something crazy. Like this, like you say the words Elias Pettersson, or just say Pettersson. Everyone knows who you're talking about. And anytime, it's almost like even if you aren't being negative, but you bring him up in any conversation, people will just say you're using it as bait, and they don't like it. Like I put a graphic out the other, like 2 days ago, just echoing what everybody else is saying, right? We heard some Pittsburgh rumors, and then I put out a graphic. Oh yeah, this is why I think it could happen, and there's reasons why it might not happen. Right? Very general, very neutral. Okay. I kid you not, I lost 6 followers on Instagram just from that.
What? Really?
In less than 5 hours, I lost 6 followers. And the post, if you even look at it yourself, nothing negative in it at all. It's just for the fact that I brought it up. I'm using the name Pettersson as a topic, and it got brought up. So I think people just need to know, it's like you mention him in some way, anything that's slightest to the negative, that people support him, it could go sideways, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's like you can support whoever you want, and I'm cool if you support him or not. That's why I'm saying my stance, if you ask me personally, 1 more year is the most I'll give him, regardless if I think he can bounce back or not. 1 more year is the most you can go. You can't go 3 years with this, right? I've said it. I've defended him when people trash him. When his wife went through a second scarage, like stuff like that, and people were attacking him online. I made a post. I'm like, hey man, don't, like, this is not cool, right? I first want to defend him too, right? I've defended him for a while too, right? But like, sometimes just for the fact that we mentioned a topic, it's nuts.
Yeah, even on your previous channel,
Yeah.
you were the one defending. So I know
was.
I can attest to that. Even though he was trying to be unbiased, you can tell that Witten was defending him. So whoever those followers that unfollowed Nuts 101, like, you need to get to know the person before, or try to understand what the content is before you unfollow, because kind of like what Witten was saying, like you have to be on the inside on some things. Like you just can't look at it face value and just think, oh, this guy's being negative. That's what this whole new generation is about. It's like, I feel this, I feel that. We are so scared to say anything because we're worried that we're gonna offend someone. But we're not a show where we will go off the hook, but we will voice what we think. So if you don't like it, you can feel free to share that in the comments, in the chat, and we'll definitely think about it and change things if it's at an angle that we don't see it. But before you do that, you need to talk to that person or leave comments to say, hey, I feel this way. Maybe you shouldn't do it this way, instead of just like ghosting or unfriending or unfollowing. Like, come on, man, we're not in grade school anymore.
That was good. Like I said, I just mentioned it just so that people know that it's really like that, right? Like everyone picks a side or whatever, right? And it's all good, right? Like honestly, like I lost those followers, but then luckily I made another graphic, and then I got some of them back, right? I got more of them back, so it's okay. I know that no matter what type of content you make or whatever take you have, never will there be 100% of the people that like it. Never. You will never have it. But I think,
Yeah.
hey, if you're batting 70, 80%, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
If that's your fan base of following, that's pretty good. Right? But if it's 70 or 80% against you, then you really got to think about it. Maybe we did something wrong, right? But like everyone has a opportunity to reflect, right? So I'm glad you guys are saying these things, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, for us, I mean, we get feedback for the channel, and I mean, I wish more of you guys leave comments and send us DMs or emails or whatnot on how we can improve it. But I've talked to people that have watched the show and they've given us feedback, and we've made adjustments to it. Like, we make adjustments to things that we see should make the show better, right? So we're not one of those people where, like, if you say something and we don't agree with it, we're not like, I will think about it. I'll talk to Yrvin about it, be like, hey, someone said this, should we do it from a different angle, or should we say it in a different way, or whatnot? We will try to improve as long as you give us feedback. There's like a banner on the bottom that Yrvin usually has, like, it's, this channel is powered by you. So we're going to do things that, make you want to watch it. Right. So if you have any sort of feedback, leave it in the comments, type it in the chat, and we'll try our best to suit everyone's need. But like Witten was saying, we can't cater to every single person, because that's just going to make the show, like, I don't even know the direction that it could go, right? But with that said, I think
you're doing anything creative.
Yeah.
It's important you don't try to make something that nobody will hate, because if nobody hates it, then nobody's going to love it either.
Yeah.
Okay.
We prefer the noise.
Just take a stance. It's a better way to be in life. Okay. Anything else?
Nope, I'm good. How about you, Whit? Anything you want to follow up on?
Parting words?
No, I just wanted to say that Headspace is an awesome place to be. You guys are awesome. You've had me on the show many times, and the best thing about
now? Does he have the record now, or is he tied?
Tied 3 ways.
Okay, 3-way tie. Okay, that's good.
I'm cool, right? I go on your show regardless if it's a record or not, right? I support you guys, and I know you guys supported me. So I didn't even know it was a thing until today. No, like you guys do an awesome job, and you take the feedback, right? Everyone gives feedback, right? And you take it, and it shows. Look how much you guys have improved, right, from day one till now. Like, look, just a lot of little things. Might not be on every single show, but I definitely chime in when I can, and I'll watch, in moments, right? But thank you for doing what you do. I know you've helped out a lot of people, so keep up the good work.
Appreciate the kind words, my friend. That's why we're good friends with Witten, because he's a true one. Like, he even shared our posts on his X and all his followers. And I think some of you that are watching right now are probably followers or subscribers of Witten that are here. So we thank you for that. And we thank you for, supporting Witten on his Next 101 and his X and his YouTube upcoming. But thank you for also supporting us, because you saw it on his page. So
awesome.
All right, Whit. Be well.
Right.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. Thank you.
I'll talk to you offline.
Yes.
Okay, wow. Covered a lot in this show. But yeah, it was great. We also just once again bumped up our subscriber count. Yeah, before we go too long, because I do have work tomorrow, we should wind down the show. Is there anything you want to throw out there before we go?
I put something in our chat. I don't know if you wanna put that up, but I created a new link on a different website because for YouTube we're still not there yet. We're trying our best to get monetized so Yrvin can upgrade his equipment.
I've
But
upgraded a bit of it already. So
he got a Father's Day present, which is the mic that he's using right now. So if it sounds good, let him know. But yeah, I mean, we're there we go. So there is a new link. It's called Buy Me a Coffee, and that's our page. If you are feeling generous and want to support the channel, you can head over there and make a donation. We'll keep an eye on that, and before every show, we will recognize those people that are there, because right now we can't do memberships yet until we hit that threshold. So we're working hard for that. But in the meantime, if you want to show some support, head over to buymeacoffee.com/headspace hockey. Any bit of donation we will appreciate, and hopefully make better content for you guys.
And do you want to shout out to the network before we go?
Oh yeah, THPN. If you don't know about it, go check them out. They're our sponsor, pretty much. We're on the network. It's them that gives us the software to stream this to you, to make graphics, to create this show for everyone. So if you're listening on a podcast, you might hear some ads, but on YouTube, you won't see anything because they're so generous to us. They're just giving us all these tools so we can make content better. But shout out to Kyle and Dylan from the Hockey Podcast Network. We appreciate it, and we're so grateful to be part of the network.
Okay. I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone that was here. Appreciate you all.
Remember to give us a shout out, get it in the comment section, contact us on all socials. We are Headspace Hockey. We also have an email, headspacexhockey@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Till next week, for Headspace Hockey, I've been Yrvin.
Okay.